Now it is my great privilege to yield to the Speaker Emerita of the United States House of Representatives, Speaker Nancy Pelosi of California. So you take 17 minutes.
Thank you very much. I thank the gentlewoman for yielding and for her tremendous leadership over a long period of time with as a great intellectual resource to helping Ukraine. Thank you very much for your leadership, Marcy Kaptur. Nearly 1 year ago, many of you will recall, in this chamber, we had a joint session of Congress. We were honored by the presence of President Zelensky, who came directly from the battlefield, brought us a flag signed by the soldiers, and delivered a magnificent speech. President Zelensky made clear the necessity of American support by saying, "Your money is not charity, it is investment in the global security and in democracy." And the fight of the Ukrainian people for democracy is just remarkable to behold. But their fight is for their democracy and ours as well. Indeed, powered by the investment we made last Congress, passed by an overwhelming bicameral vote, Ukraine has battled historically against the tide of the biggest army in Europe, the Russian army. It is important for the American people to know that Ukraine has reclaimed, won back, 50% of the land previously seized by the Russians. Won back 50%. More than 60%, close to 2/3 of the money that we have invested in military assistance for the Ukrainians has been spent in the United States, creating jobs here as we support the Ukrainians. And that's 50% of the land, nearly 2/3 of the money and spent here, and 100% of the determination that victory will belong to the Ukrainian people. Others have mentioned, Mr. Hoyer included, at the same time our hearts break when we hear about the atrocities committed against women by Putin's forces. Women are subjected to rape as a weapon of war, murdered in front of their parents or in front of their children, raped in the same way. Tens of thousands of children kidnapped by the Russian soldiers, tens of thousands. I said to someone who knows about these things, isn't it sad, the brutality of war that has turned these soldiers into brutes? And they said, make no mistake, the Russian soldiers do what they are ordered to do. These rapes, these kidnappings, these murders of families in front of family members are the direct order of Vladimir Putin, a very evil person. And we must put an end to this unadulterated evil. The longer we wait to get the money, more people will die, more children will be kidnapped, more women will be raped, and more uncertainty will be injected into the situation as to whether we are there to protect democracy and to support it. As the war wages on, the administration has repeatedly made clear America is at the end of the supply of money we have voted, and Ukraine is nearly out of time. Today, President Zelensky returned to the Capitol to make a compelling case for America's continued support to help Ukraine finish the fight. Because the battle for Ukraine, again, is a battle for democracy itself, and we will not let death, destruction, and dictatorship of Vladimir Putin prevail. President Biden's supplemental funding request must be brought to the floor as soon as possible so that we honor our duty to stand with the Ukrainian people until victory is won. And it has been said on both sides of the aisle, the cost of war is great. Should Putin prevail and then go on to other invasions of NATO or non-NATO countries, it'll only cost more money, more lives, more families separated. That cannot be what we are about. At the same time, this legislation calls for us to honor a commitment to peace in the Middle East by our support for Israel and the humanitarian assistance that is in the legislation for the Palestinian people, as well as others. With that, again, I thank you for your leadership, for taking the special order, for yielding time, and yield back mine.